So just sitting where you are with 2 feet firmly on the ground and feeling grounded, we're going to enjoy 3 deep breaths. Breathe with me, okay? Breathing in through the nose, a big self-love breath. And breathe it slowly out the nose. Let go of what doesn't serve you today. Let go of low self-worth, feelings of inadequacy, because you've got this today. Let's take another deep breath in of self-confidence. Fill yourself with self-confidence and breathe out the nostrils any self-limiting thoughts or critical self-talk. Just let it go. And last big breath, a breath of life. We're alive. Isn't that beautiful? And to know that you are special, right? So open your mouth and breathe it out. Sigh the breath out. Wonderful. Thank you for taking 3 breaths with me, the breath of life, the breath that soothes the nervous system and helps us to also to be present. You've got another 25 minutes with me and Mindful Revolution, and to bring yourself into the session. Let's give up on multitasking and all the other stuff that's going on. Let's set some boundaries with that stuff, okay? So we're going to start off with a survey. And I think it's really important because awareness is everything, right? And this survey, so Christian, my colleague, is going to pop the link into your chat so that you can click on it and begin with the survey. It's completely confidential, right? It's completely confidential, and no one, the information is yours alone, okay? Christian, is it in there? Just checking.
It's in.
Okay, brilliant. There, I can see it. It's called thesurveymonkey.com. Click it on, and what will happen, you just fill in your details, okay? Filling in your details, and I promise you, we're not going to spam you. We're not going to give it to another company or anything like that. This is just for today only. Just putting in your details. We won't, no, we're not going to share your results. We don't know your results. That's all highly confidential between your survey and yourself, okay? But what happens is as you complete the survey, it's going to give us an overall result of everyone that's on this call, all right? An overall statistic. So let's get into that survey. I'm sure you've got it in front of you. The link's working great. Number 1, when I fail at something important to me, I become consumed by feelings of inadequacy. Okay, this is an indicator of low self-worth. I try to be understanding and patient towards these aspects of my personality I don't like. Almost never, occasionally, about half the time, fairly often, almost always, okay? Which one resonates with you? Number 3, when something painful happens, I try to take a balanced view of the situation. Or do you spiral down into sort of pity and remorse, okay? What do you do? Number 4, when I'm feeling down, I tend to feel like most other people are probably happier than I am. And that could be quite a common thing, especially if we're looking at social media and seeing everybody living their best life, which is actually not that true because no one posts themselves down or feeling, overwhelmed. Question 5, I try to see my failings as part of the human condition, that everybody fails because we're only human. We're allowed to make mistakes. Do you feel that? Do you feel that that's part of the human condition? 6, when I'm going through a hard time, I give myself caring and tenderness that I need. Do you take those self-love breaks, those breath breaks? Give yourself a chance to compose yourself. Number 7, when something upsets me, I try and keep my emotions in balance, or are they just sort of out of control, all right? Number 8, when I fail at something that's important to me, I tend to feel alone in my failure, like it's just my failure and no one is around me, no one helps me, nobody else fails and I don't see it. Okay. Number 9, when I'm feeling down, I tend to obsess and fixate on everything that's wrong. You know, like you'll come home from work and say, I had a bad day. You know, like everything was wrong. How can everything be wrong in a bad day? Okay. So which one resonates with you? 10, when I feel inadequate in some way, I try to remind myself that feelings of inadequacy are shared by most people. Do you remind yourself that most people are probably feeling the same as you do? 11, I'm disapproving and judgmental about my own flaws and inadequacies. That's that self-critical little voice inside our mind that can bring us down. And 12, I'm tolerant and impatient towards those aspects of my personality that I don't like. You just can't stand them. You don't want to deal with them. You want to hide them. You want to push it under the rug. You're just not patient with yourself. And then click on the green button that says done. And then you will get your score, okay? Your percentage. And that is your percentage. Chris is going to show us now on the screen. You can see a graphic, and we're seeing some results coming through. As you can see, the red zone is a cumulative result of low self-worth, and that's between 0 and 49.8%. What is your personal score? You don't have to pop it in the chat, but are you somewhere down there? The orange, moderate low self-worth, between 50 and 70%, moderate. And then in the green, high self-worth, that's 70 to 100%. Okay, it's an amazing practice, right? Because maybe you didn't understand, maybe you never saw that before. Maybe you didn't realize this about yourself, that maybe you need to work on your self-worth. Yes, we will definitely share the recording with you. And yeah, everyone is pretentious at some time or another in their lives. Thanks, Kurt. So Chris, how's it looking? What's our final sort of score there for the whole group?
Our current average is on 61 for the group.
Yeah, 61, right? So everyone on this call has moderate self-worth, okay? Moderate. It's not like that low, but it's kind of not great either, okay? So this just shows me that we've got some work to do. We can always ramp up our self-worth. Christian, thank you so much for putting the survey together. The poor man is working himself flat out and made this incredible survey for us. So thank you very much for sharing that with us. I think we're done. All right, friends. So let's get into the content for today. And this is session 2 of the Mindfulness and Self-Love Challenge. Oh, before I forget, I wanted to show you something. Let's have a look here. I wanted to show you something here. On my wall, you see the back wall here? It's a chalkboard, and I drew another butterfly yesterday. The butterflies, every day of the challenge, I'm going to draw another butterfly. So there'll be 14 butterflies all in all, okay? And that will represent the journey that we've been on. And we're just growing our wings, we're growing our beautifulness. Is there such a word as beautifulness? No, I guess not. And there's a thing called the butterfly effect, where they say a butterfly's wings flapping can cause a hurricane on the other side of the planet. Now, I doubt that's true, but it's just an analogy of small little changes, small little things that you can do can result in a big outcome, a big, positive, mindful, self-love outcome, okay? So don't discredit these little sessions. They're going to make a big difference in your life and a big difference to who you are. And there's nothing more powerful than loving ourselves. So here's a question to all of you this morning. What is the most important thing in your life? Please let me know. Pop it in the Q&A in the chat there. What is the most important thing in your life? All right. It's not a difficult question. I'm sure it's something that one can answer quite easily. I know that a lot of people say that family is the most important thing in life. What else? Some people say that to have money, to have material success. I don't know. What do you think? What is the most important thing in your life? And I think it's a good question to ask, right? Because this determines our work-life balance as well. Because if we find that if work is the most important thing in your life, then fine, then you can spend a lot of time doing that. But if life and your family and your life outside of your job is also important, maybe we can reflect on that. So I'm just going to come and have a look to see if anyone's really engaged with that, the most important thing in your life. Let's see. Where's everybody's typing fingers? Are you giving me some answers? My kids, says Anonymous, my children are the most important thing in my life. Yeah, children are, aren't they? I'm a father, and it's wonderful. Family is the most important thing, Anonymous is saying. Martinez, you should have the yesterday's session sent through to your organization. Martinez, yeah, but just look out for that. There's a couple of other quotes. My mental health, says Wandile. Tanya says, my family, Carmen, my family, my health and peace. Gordon, family and friends, having good health, my faith, love, God and family, religion, family and good health, both physically and mentally, love relationships, financial stability. Anasi is saying, my well-being is the most important thing. And I must say, Anati, I agree with you, okay? For me, family is important. A lot of important things. Financial freedom is important. But your health is the most important thing, because if you lose your health, if you suffer from burnout, if you slip into depression, then we become a burden on our families, we become a burden on our colleagues, and of course for ourselves. And I know this. My dad died of suicide because he put everybody else first, his family, his job, and then when he lost everything, he had no self-importance or self-love, because his self-worth was reliant on his job, his money, his ability to be a father, So you've got to put yourself first, friends, and then you can beautifully serve your family. And it's that whole story. I'm sure you've heard it before, but it goes like this. When you're on an aeroplane, before the plane takes off, what does the air hostess or the steward say? In an event of an emergency, oxygen mask will fall down. Make sure that you secure your oxygen mask on your face first before you help your children. Okay? You know that? Now, I've asked so many moms and dads, if that was truly to happen, if that really happened, would you put the oxygen mask on yourself first? And in all honesty, most people say no. I will make sure that my child is safe before myself. The problem with that is if you don't get oxygen in time, your child won't. All right? So it's important to make sure that you are breathing, that you are happy, that you feel content, that you are doing what is necessary to not burn out, to not feel the tangle, the roller coaster ride. Okay. And it's really hard at this time of year when everything is so busy, to just take those moments for yourself, but it's vital. It is an essential service for yourself. The Mindful Revolution, isn't this great? And, Adrian Jacobs, who started the Mindful Revolution a decade ago, what a brilliant name for a business. And it really is the Mindful Revolution. In the 1940s, if you were going for a run, people would say, like, who are you running from? Nobody was jogging for fun, okay? And then science came in and they said it's good for you. And then people were running, they started running, and it became a thing, running, jogging, cycling, exercise. In the 1980s, I remember my father was a big smoker. He smoked on the aeroplane, he smoked in the boardroom, He smoked everywhere. I mean, can you imagine sitting in your organization with an ashtray and a cigarette in a boardroom meeting? That's what happened. And now, if you want a cigarette, you have to walk miles away from anyone else. In fact, they're even talking about banning cigarettes in supermarkets and so on. So that's a huge revolution in terms of health. We are now in the mindful revolution, where it's okay to talk about your mental health, because nobody wants to. Everyone talks about I've had COVID, I've had flu, I've got a sore back, etc. And we don't feel awkward to say that, but we feel really embarrassed and awkward to talk about the fact that we're not okay, or the fact that we have really low self-worth, because we feel that someone's going to abuse us, someone's going to report us, we might lose our jobs. And 5 out of 6 employees lie to their boss that when they take a day off for their mental health, that they would rather say something else, like they had flu. Can you believe it? And it's true, but the world has changed. And it's changed because of people like Simone Biles, the lead athlete for Team USA in the gymnastics, who said, I'm not okay, and that's okay, you know? Same as Naomi Osaka, a great tennis player, who said the same thing. And of course they were criticized for it, but who cares, right? The ones that care, they support them, and they are changing the world by just being honest and just by talking about it. All right. So yesterday we had the home practice of saying to ourselves throughout the day, I am enough. You place your right hand on your heart, and you take 3 deep breaths, and between those deep breaths we say, I am enough. You are enough. You are more than enough. And I know that many of us, maybe we forgot to do this, but so today I'm going to encourage that you do what I did. I made a little wristband. As you can see, it's just a piece of cord or a piece of string, and I wrapped it around my wrist, and every time I look at it, I go, oh, okay, now's a good time to take a breath break, 3 deep breaths, and say to myself, I am enough. And that is power. That's a superpower. And why is it important, right? Why is it important? Well, it's because of burnout. At Mindful Revolution, and in all the years of my facilitation, we identify that low self-worth is a major contributing factor to burnout. Because if we have low self-worth, we won't have boundaries. Our boundaries won't be there. If we have low self-worth, if a colleague or a boss or someone phones us late at night when we are relaxing and we're taking calls and messages after hours, and we're saying, please respect my space, we don't do that, okay? Because we feel that we need to prove that we are always on, that we're hardworking, and we want to look good in the eyes of others. And we measure our self-worth on other people's grade of us, but that's not healthy. That will lead us to working late at night and on weekends, and a lack of personal boundaries, especially in family as well, or your friends, where you notice every weekend you're doing stuff because other people want you to do that. Okay. So yeah, so I like this picture of a white picket fence. It's a gentle boundary. It's not like what we've got in South Africa with the electric fence and the razor wire. You never do that to your family, right? Or your colleagues or your boss, like they'd get an electric shock from your boundary. But it's a gentle boundary. It's like a white picket fence. It's a soft boundary. It's a beautiful boundary, I call it. White picket fences can look beautiful, you know, with a little dog called Rover or whatever. And we can be a gentle boundary. Instead of saying no, stop, we can say, let's postpone when it suits me. All right. So here are 8 points that show that if you have no time for yourself, okay, you need to up your boundaries. So let's have a look. What number would resonate with you? All right. And pop it in the Q&A. Let me know. Number 1, you have no time for yourself. Is this you? Number 2, you say yes when you want to say no. 3, you feel guilty to book me time. 4, you often feel that others take advantage of you. 5, you often feel responsible for solving other people's problems. 6, you feel depleted from overgiving. 7, you don't speak your truth. 8, you self-sacrifice to avoid conflict. There may be more than just one number. There may be a few over here that you find that you're struggling with. So that's okay. I just want to have a look at the chat coming back into the Q&A. Let's have a look. So there are the boundaries. Let's have a look. So we're seeing there, Anonymous is saying number 1, having a problem with no time for myself. Number 6, you feel depleted from overgiving. 1 and 3, says Anonymous. 3, you feel guilty to book me time. 5, says Wandile. Number 5 resonates. You feel responsible for saving other people's. Another one says all of them except 7. Number 4. Anyway, there's so much coming through, and it's really good for you to know, for you to take stock, right? Where is your problem child here, and make a note of it. Make a note of it. All right, thanks for sharing. We also have lack of boundaries with ourselves, which eats up our time. The statistic is we're looking at our phone every 4 minutes. Every 4 minutes, we're looking at our phone. That's too much. How can we focus on anything? And it's going to add to our stress and burnout. We're checking emails 90 times a day. It's too much. So between your phone and your laptop, we overdoing, and we have no boundaries with having to answer people immediately. Like we're busy driving and we're checking our phone, and that could harm us. We could get into a car accident, right? So boundaries are a good thing for not only others and setting it with others, but also with yourself. And they're gentle boundaries. They're kind boundaries. They're not like, no, I'm not going to do that. They may be like, yeah, let's just postpone. Let's just postpone, okay? So I thought maybe now's a good time for a mindfulness practice, okay? A mindfulness practice. Let's take a moment with 2 feet on the ground and just breathing in, taking in a lovely, big, deep inhalation. And we imagine that our brain, our mind, is like a computer. And we've got a postpone folder on our desktop, and our mind is very busy. So just move everything into that postpone folder. Thoughts, plans, close all your mental windows down, clean up your desktop, and just relax on your breath. Whatever arises, whatever plans for later, whatever your to-do list is, just put it in the folder called postpone on your desktop. And just enjoy a calm breath. And as we set boundaries with ourselves, we can reflect on some of these affirmations. I am worthy and deserving of setting and maintaining boundaries that serve me. Each and every day, I'm becoming clearer and clearer about the boundaries that serve me best. It's easy for me to share my boundaries with others. I honor myself by honoring my boundaries. Each time I honor my boundaries, I feel more and more confident to express my needs and create space for my desires. Space, spaciousness. I'm ready to choose beautiful boundaries that help me live, create, and serve as the fullest expression of my incredible self. I easily attract ideal clients and friends who honor and respect my boundaries. My feelings are valid. So let's take in another deep inhalation, breathing in and release. Wonderful affirmations. And as always, I'm going to leave you with a home practice. So how about today, just for today, make a folder on your laptop and call it postpone and move everything into that folder, okay? And then only pull out of that folder what you need, one at a time, not multitasking. Just for today, do it, okay? And let it remind you, even with yourself, to postpone your thoughts, your ruminations. Just, I'll do it, I'll think about it later, you know? I'll deal with my anxiety later. Right now, I'm just going to move it into the folder. Practice the stop sign. Going to your garden is like a karate move, okay? Stop, stop, stop. That's like a boundary stop sign. And maybe if you've got a journal going, which is a great practice, buy a nice book, you download an app. What boundaries are you going to set today? With whom and what and how, okay? Write it down. That's the home practice. So remember, maybe tie that little piece of string, and then every time you look at it, just think, what's going on right now? I'm going to move into the postpone folder, and I'm going to breathe, take 3 deep breaths, and create some space. And then go back into it, okay? Even if it's just 3 deep breaths, thinking about postpone, and then carry on. There we go. There we go. So that is our session today. Thank you very much for attending. Ondela suggested I play Naughty Boy and Beyonce, which is this great track. Running, running. It's about self-love and self-care. Is there a song that speaks to you about self-care and self-love? Yeah? What is the song? I heard the song first time this morning. If I lose myself, I lose it all. That's what they say. If I lose myself, I lose it all. It's time for me to go. Thank you, friends, for joining. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay? Until then, have a wonderful day, and don't forget to love yourself. If I lose myself, I lose it all.